will you attend a large sewing event more sustainably? Is it possible to avoid getting overwhelmed, to avoid regrettable impulse purchases, and to actually enjoy yourself? Last month, I took my pal and previous guest Kim Witten to her first major sewing event, the Stitch Festival in London. Whilst we were there, we gathered advice on how to make the most of these events by getting inspired, making considered purchases, and connecting with a wonderful sewing community. So stick around a few minutes for that. Welcome to Check Your Thread, the podcast that will help you sew more sustainably. My name's Zoe and I'm obsessed with sewing. I've been blogging about it for over 15 years and I'm the creator and host of the popular handmade wardrobe challenge Me Made May. But, like many people, I've become increasingly concerned about the climate crisis, and I'm looking at the way that my lifestyle contributes to it. So in this podcast, I'll be nerding out about making clothes whilst exploring how to minimise the negative impact that it may have. I really hope you'll join me in this journey. Hi gorgeous one, how are you doing? So this is the first episode back after taking 2 weeks off from releasing new episodes. So I hope you've been well whilst we were away. However, I'm actually recording this on Sunday the 7th of April, so halfway through the 2 weeks off. Check Your Thread producer Pat, who kindly puts the episodes together, he's going away for a week and wanted to get everything set up in advance of him going away, which is why I'm recording this intro now rather than just before when the episode drops. Anyway, thanks so much for all the positive comments on the Fabric Scraps mini-series. And special thanks to those of you who bought the How to Sew Clothes from Fabric Scraps PDF download. For every sale of the guide, I'm donating £1 to the humanitarian organisation Médecins Sans Frontières, aka Doctors Without Borders. So there were 57 sales of the guide in March, so I've made the donation to MSN topped up a bit to £70. So I will continue to tot up the sales of that guide at the end of every month and make a donation every month. So, if you were planning on buying the How to Sew Clothes from Fabric Scraps PDF guide, you can find it in the shops tab of checkyourthread.com. Plus, I've added the link in the show notes to this episode as well. So, how's your making going on at the moment? I hope that you are in the middle of a super fun project. My sewing table has seen quite a lot of action recently, but nothing for me. I finished up a scrappy sweatshirt for my mum. I made a sample blouse for work. And then I made a couple of much needed undies for my little boy. But during the second week of Easter, however, I plan to focus on making myself some black jeans. So black jeans was one of the garments that I figured out that my wardrobe was lacking during last year's Me Made May. But I couldn't buy any denim last year because I was participating in Last Sew Standing. However, since I wrapped up that challenge in February, I've bought some gorgeous black stretch denim. So I'll be cracking on with those next week. So the other project that I just completed, I'm actually going to flag up as my sustainability win for the week. So this was inspired by the awesome contributions from listeners for the recent Scrap Strategies episodes. Those were episodes 127 and 128. Anyway, inspired by some of the ideas shared, I made a friend of mine a yoga bolster that was entirely stuffed with fabric scraps. So I used a remnant of black linen from my stash for the cover, and I used some Velcro also from my stash so that it could be removable when it had to be washed. And for the inner section, I used a piece of old bed sheet and I stuffed it with like the rubbishy scraps that I collect in plastic bags underneath my sewing table. I had to cut up a lot of them a bit more to make sure that the bolster didn't end up being really lumpy. And I ended up using about a third of the useless scraps that I've been collecting. So the friend that I was making it for had been looking at yoga bolsters on Amazon prior to me offering her to make her one. And she sent me a couple of links to the ones that she'd been considering buying. So I used the dimensions listed for one of those as the guide for the dimensions of my handmade one. And the result was pretty good. And I even added a handle so that she can move it around easy. And she was super happy with it. I love that I was able to find a use for some of my scraps. And that's one less sale for the exploitative and damaging selling platform that is Amazon. So a win-win for sure. Sustainability fail. Okay, so here's a fail that I have to consciously turn around again. So do you remember that in February, 3/4 of my family gave up eating meat and fish for the month? Well, I have to admit that we've gone back to eating more meat than I'm happy with, including a lot of processed supermarket meat from questionable sources. We haven't gone back to eating the sausages, which is probably one of the worst ones, but generally meat has sneaked back in far more than I hoped it would. So that's something that I need to change. So since the last episode dropped, some wonderful people have signed up to support the podcast via Patreon. So massive thanks to Virginia, Mary Ellen, Lola, Rosanna, Sam, Helen, Rebecca, Alison and Kate. You are all awesome and I'm incredibly grateful. And whilst we're on the subject of patrons, the April mending meetups that will take place via Zoom have been scheduled. So if you're a patron, check out your Patreon notifications or the Check Your Thread Patreon page for details to join in if you wish. I look forward to having some live mending with some of you later this month. Right, let's crack on. I really enjoyed the Stitch Festival last month, probably more than I expected to be honest. You're going to hear from lots of people who were at the event, and I've put all their details in the show notes. If you were able to attend the Stitch Festival, I hope that listening to this episode brings back some of your own memories of the event. And if you weren't able to attend, I hope that this episode gives you a fun window into what it was like. So until next week, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, take care of the wider global community, and enjoy! Hello Kim, how are you doing?
Hello.
So we are sitting in London. So I've known you now for, I want to say 2 years?
At least.
Yeah, but this is the second time we've met in person. So we are in a little coffee shop in Angel in London. We have got press passes to go to the Stitch Festival.
Fantastic.
Have you been to a sewing / knitting / craft event such as this?
Not of this size. No.
Right. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm excited because I've done big festivals, conventions, events, but they've always had some sort of work agenda or been directly tied to the work I do in some way. So it'd be tech or design or language, linguistics. I used to study that. So to go to something like this and have it be more closely related to joy, craft, that creativity, that space is very exciting.
Awesome. I can't wait to be with you because I think it's going to blow your mind, quite frankly.
Yeah. I think it's going to be overwhelming in a good way. My eyes are going to be everywhere. And, just excited puppy energy.
So you used the word overwhelm, and I do think that could be a risk at these kind of events. So what are you hoping to get from today?
A few things. I was thinking about this. I think I'd love to learn something new. Some new hack, some new technique, some new tool that I don't yet know about that's going to blow my mind, open my world, maybe make me want to try something new. I would love to have some interesting conversations with people, and I'd love to be dazzled by some fabrics, yarns, patterns, new things that inspire me to try something, kind of broaden my world of what maybe I could do, or create. Yeah, I think those are the main things.
Awesome.
I'm sure there's more.
I love how open you are to this as well. Have you done any research in advance? Like, did you look at the website? Did you check out any kind of businesses or anything that are going to be there?
I did, briefly. There was a balance. I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole too much, but I wanted to get kind of the shape of things. I wanted to, and I like this with everything. I kind of want to know just enough to be like, right, I feel comfortable, safe. Let's go dive into the adventure and see what else is for discovery.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. You are, as we said before, you are a crafter. You've been a crafter for a while now. You've been a young craft person for quite a while, and you are newish to sewing, although you have been doing it for quite a while now. So you're also very much, and especially this year because it's one of your kind of key goals, isn't it, about living in a more sustainable way. So it'd be really interesting and exciting to see how you can achieve those things, like discover new stuff, enjoy your passion, have a sense of adventure and creativity, but also within the kind of frame of sustainability,
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's been some particular challenges with that for me lately. So I've got a goal this year of a no new year where I'm not buying any clothes for myself with the exclusion of bras and shoes, and maybe a jacket if I need it, because it's just too challenging to make those things. So I give myself a pass on that. If I can find them used, great. But so I've been sewing for 18 months now, I think, and I participated in May last year, and I think this year I could do it much more easily with a fuller wardrobe.
Well, you're going to have to up your challenge then, remember? Challenging but doable.
Yes, exactly. Challenging but doable. Really like that. So I think I will be upping my game, but the challenge I've had lately is I'm trying to find ways to make sewing more sustainable for myself, because I think when you're new to it, like with anything, you waste a lot of fabric, you make a lot of mistakes, you try things and they maybe don't work, and I've kind of had a run lately of trying a lot of things that haven't worked out well for whatever reason, and well, for lots of reasons, but I'm overcoming those challenges, but it's also been a little bit demotivating. So going into something like this, I think, can help stoke the energy again.
Absolutely, yeah.
And just make it like, oh, I can go back to those trousers, those corduroy trousers, and be like, I've got this now. I've got some new ideas to try. I can make this work.
How hard was it for you to say trousers then rather than pants?
That is a really good point. It actually rolled out of my mouth much easier than I didn't
That's
even realize.
the 14 years in the UK, finally.
That's true. That is true. Good shout there.
Brilliant. Well, we are going to finish up. We've just had a little tasty, I don't even know, what is it, jalapeno bake? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was good though.
Cornbread.
I am finishing up my coffee. Sufficient caffeine levels have been achieved.
Yeah.
So,
can I ask you something really quick?
Sure.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to as a very experienced person going into this?
Oh,
what's in it for you?
I love this. I am always looking out for trying to catch a vibe of like any new trends, any new developments within the kind of broader world of sewing, because I think that my kind of little niche, my kind of more sustainable niche that I can tend to hang out in terms of, you know, like the way I spend my time on Instagram, things like that, maybe I am not seeing everything, and I like to get a bit of a litmus on what's going on more broadly. Love to see how much ideas towards sustainability and eco-mindedness is spreading throughout the more general world, industry, community. So I'm always looking out for little things like that, like the episode that I did on the knitting and stitching show that in Alexandra Palace previously, I was specifically looking for that. So this is a slightly different, and there'll be a lot of the same sellers and store holders at this one, but it is a slightly different mix, I think. So it would just be interesting to see how that is, you know, just get the vibe. And also, like, I'm looking forward to saying hi to some people that I know, and I would love to get to meet some more people as well.
Love it. Yeah, and there's something really interesting in what you said there about, so I'm going into it with all of this kind of newness, and you'll be able to see what's new to me. But as you're going into this and looking around, you're going to be able to see what's kind of maybe was new or new ideas a couple of years ago, but now have become normalized and common. And then what's new to you or new to both of us.
Yeah, totally. And I haven't been to this particular event since just before COVID.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I want to say. So it'll be super interesting. Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
So if some fabric catches your eye, have you got a budget? Like, have you gone into this thinking like, I can have one piece, or I can spend £30, or what's your parameters?
I've got a range of a budget, so like between 30 and 100 maybe, but I will be happy if I come home with one piece, maybe. I could be happy if I didn't come home with anything, but I would love to come home with some fabric and a plan for what I'm going to make with it.
Nice.
Maybe even the other direction of like, what do I want to make, and then go find that fabric. Who knows? We'll try. We'll see. I might rebel against myself on that one. But yeah, I think there's a lot of it lately where I've gotten into the habit and gotten a lot of enjoyment out of seeing things, appreciating them, and not necessarily having to purchase them.
Yes, amen.
Yeah. And that's usually enough, you know? It's like walking through a market and then you're smelling and seeing all the foods.
Yeah.
but you might already be full, or you know that you're going to eat. You don't necessarily need to buy everything.
Yeah, it doesn't all have to come home with you. It doesn't all have to go in your mouth or into your stash. Yeah. Whatever the case may be.
Yeah, so learning how to enjoy things without ownership.
Yes,
without acquisition or purchase.
Yeah, it's like going to a gallery. Like, you don't have to take all those beautiful paintings or sculptures home, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. And also, I think that it would be a shame if you went home with nothing, because as you were saying, like where you live, there aren't a lot of in-person kind of fabric buying opportunities.
Yeah, and I don't want to buy fabric online. That's not my thing, unless maybe in the future I will. But I think there's some real value in getting to feel it, hold it, see the drape. I learned this from you, so thank you for that. But yeah, and just seeing things in person and then having that memory of getting it here.
Oh,
and then when you wear the thing, you're like, yeah, I remember where I got that, and just the whole story.
The extra layers of meaning. And that's one of the kind of things that I think that sewing your own clothes has over buying clothes. Even if you're buying second-hand clothes, it's like if you can create more connection with the thing that you're making, like there's the layers of meaning, the layers of story that you were talking about, like that's something then that you're going to treasure. You're probably going to put a little bit more effort into making it, achieving a good fit and finishing
making a toile first.
and then you'll have that piece, and you'll have more of a connection. Yeah. So we've been in here for a full maybe 5 minutes, and Kim's found her happy place. She's found this stall, dots and stripes, with loads of really unusual printed jerseys. They're really good quality, and even all the blue ones are appealing to Kim, which is a shock.
I don't like blue. Perhaps the only person who doesn't like the color blue.
So if you're going to be using these kind of bold prints, you just want like a really simple pattern that just provides really nice canvas for it, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. This is such a perfect time for me to come here and do this. I've actually got enough knowledge about fabrics and patterns and types of fabrics and what I like and what I don't like. I'm sure there's more to learn, and your fabric guide has helped immensely with that.
Oh, that's so good to know.
So this is exciting. I'm getting much more out of it because I actually have enough information to know, to steer me in better directions than the mistakes of the past.
Yeah, I thought it was a very old school phone with a hairy hat on.
It's a what? It's an old school phone? Yeah. But no. Who are you?
I'm Charlotte, and I work for Maven Patterns.
So it's day 2 of the Stitch Festival.
Yes, it is. Yes.
It's been super busy.
It's been super busy, and the 2 new patterns, Tony and Zoe, have been going down very, very well.
Yay!
And Tony is coming along tomorrow.
Yes, I saw. So we are exploring the idea of coming to these shows, but how you can do it in a way that doesn't feel super overwhelming, and how you can enjoy your time, but either not come away completely with nothing and you're really disappointed because you just got too overwhelmed, but equally not going incredibly wild and you can't afford to eat for the rest of the month. So when people come to your stand, like, are they often people that have maybe checked the website before, they know who you are, they've got an idea of something they're looking for, or is it's new people?
We get a lot of people who come back year on year, and they know that we do certain things, certain fabrics, and they'll always come and check to see what new patterns we have.
Nice.
Or they'll have bought a pattern or 2 the year before and then thought about another one, and then they'll come back for that one.
Oh, really?
But we do have new people. We had a lady earlier who couldn't believe she'd never heard of us.
Really? She's incredulous.
She was completely baffled. She said, I've researched so much and I didn't know who you were. But yeah, so people do come. I always say, do you have a shopping list, or are you looking for inspiration? Because people who are looking for inspiration, you can say, well, what colours are you liking, what fibres? But people who've got a shopping list, you can generally help them out fairly quickly, but that doesn't mean they're not going to get distracted. So I would say it's always good to have an idea of something in your mind that you're looking for, but be prepared to be struck by something beautiful that you just can't leave.
If someone
without.
gets struck by something, have you got a guide for them of like how much to buy? Like if they haven't instantly got like a pattern in mind?
Yeah, if they say that, I'm addicted to maxi dresses, so I know I'm always looking about 3 meters, maybe 3.5, depending on whether it's got massive sleeves or not. So yeah, we'll say if you're thinking about trousers, it might be 2.5. If you think about a jumper, it might be about 1.5 to 2. We've got a rough guide so that we can help people
Nice.
out. Yeah.
Any other tips for people who are coming, like my friend Kim here,
Hello,
to an event like this for the first time? Like, how do you not feel overwhelmed?
I would take a look on the website, see which brands are going to be there. Maybe have a quick look at their website, have a look at their social media, see what they're talking about in the run-up, because obviously if you're launching a new thing to bring to the show, you'll have been talking about it in the week previous or the 2 weeks previous, so you can see what they're going to be showcasing. And just search some of the hashtags as well, maybe, see what else is going on. Yeah, just do a bit of research and maybe go and head to those people first.
Nice.
Just take it easy, don't get overwhelmed.
Keep hydrated.
Stay hydrated, bring snacks, make sure you have regular toilet breaks.
Now we're just talking about what do you do with toddlers, aren't we?
We're super lucky that the water station is just there and the
Nice.
toilets are just there as well, so we are in the
Everything you
perfect
need.
spot. Yes.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so
thank you.
much. I
Thank
hope
you
you
for
have
coming
a
to see us.
wonderful day.
Thank you very much.
I do follow your podcast.
Oh, bless you. Hello, Vicky from the Sewing Bee.
Hello, nice to meet you.
So we are standing in front of a collaboration that you've done with Pigeon Wishes, is that right?
Yes, so I've designed 3 of my own fabrics and then they're printed through Pigeon Wishes on a tencel base.
Amazing. I'm obsessed with this.
The art one.
What's it called?
It's called The Art, that one.
The
it's meant
Art.
to be like an art gallery
It
of
really
modern
is.
geometric designs.
I'm absolutely
Yeah.
obsessed with it. So
Thank you.
you've got it in a jacket here, and it is so eye-catching and gorgeous.
Thank you.
So they're
Yeah.
currently available for pre-order, is that right?
Yeah, so they're on pre-order at the minute and they should be arriving next week. Yeah, end of the month they'll be with me, so very, very excited.
Brilliant. So can people get them through?
Yeah, so
Pigeon
you
Wishes
can
on your site, or?
order them if you're here today, and then they're going to be on my website. Well, they're already on my website, which is whatvickymade.com.
Awesome. And you've got some labels and some buttons
Yeah,
also.
so I've got some woven labels and then a collaboration of buttons with Pigeon Wishes as well.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I wish you all the best with it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's exciting.
What I really like about these events, these kind of sewing events, knitting events, is spotting the me maids on the other visitors, you know?
And even before we entered, just getting off the tube station and seeing the people, you could tell who was heading where.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, there's the seam guides that Saskia was talking about that are magnetic, and you can put them on the bed of your machine. And you can adjust for your seam allowance. So you can just put your raw edge against the straight section.
I love that.
It's clever, isn't it?
And they're affordable too.
They're £3, yeah.
Oh, well.
There we go. Hello, Sharon from Maven Patterns. How are you
Hi,
doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
So I just bumped into you. So what are you up to today?
Just having a little wander around, and
Yeah.
here with Sarah from Olive Road as well. So we just thought we'd see what's around and fondle some fabric.
So you don't have a stall here?
Not today, no.
Yeah, have you in
No.
the past?
Yeah, we've done it once before, but
Yeah,
not
yeah.
this time.
So I have my friend. Oh, she's here. This is Sharon. This is Kim.
Hi,
Kim is a fairly beginner sewer, and this is her first event.
Okay.
And we're kind of exploring the idea of like how you can come to a show like this and not get overwhelmed and get the most out of it and enjoy something. Do you have any tips for Kim?
Take photos. So
Oh,
if you're
wow,
not
that's
sure, especially patterns, take a photo of the pattern, think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Take a photo, walk away, have a coffee, you can go back on the day, or you can order online. Everybody's online.
Yeah.
So you're not under any obligation to buy there and then. Think
That's
about
a really
it.
good tip.
That's a great idea. 'Cause there's a
Especially-
lot to process.
Yeah, especially if it's a style you don't normally wear. You can go to wherever, try on something similar shape, if it's a skirt, whatever it is. Try something on somewhere else and just think about it before you commit.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
that's
that.
it. Because pretty much all of these stalls have got a website as well, haven't
Yeah,
they? So you'll be
yeah,
able
yeah.
to. This is not your only chance. is
No,
it?
it's not. Sometimes things sell out. So fabric, a little bit more risky, and then you haven't got postage if you buy it here, so that's really good for a stall holder if you buy it here, and you get to meet people. But yeah, if you're really not sure, wait.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So it's almost like changing the mindset, and this is a info gathering, a research reconnaissance mission of
Oh,
like
I love
I'm
that.
gonna go
Exactly.
get
Yeah.
pictures, think
Yeah.
about things, think about
Yeah.
it later.
Yeah.
And then just going through my memories, going through my
pictures. Even if you just go and have coffee here and then come back. People would rather you bulk something and you use it than just buy it and then regret it. And,
Because I think it's real easy to get caught up in the frantic scarcity of like there's lots of people, there's lots of bolts of fabric, and like, oh, I've got to grab this, or I've got to wait in this queue, or I've got to make a decision, and I'm starting to feel that pressure. But I don't need to. I can just kind of appreciate it and then come back and think about it.
Outside, have a walk around, come back in.
So have you seen anything that you're interested in getting today?
I've only been here about 5 minutes, so I'm like walking around, like try not to look too much.
Did you do any research? Like, did you check out what companies are going to be here or anything in advance?
No. I just literally go blind. But I know what I like, so if I see something, I'll know whether I'll use it or not. I've got a lot of practice.
I think I'm similar. I've got my colours.
Yeah.
I like certain things. Yeah. I'm a bit narrow in that.
I am very quite specific what I will buy. So not so bad.
Are you allowing yourself a purchase if you see something you really like?
Only if I know what I'll use it for.
Cool.
Or I know I will design something around it, like fabric wise. So yeah.
Nice, I love that.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Fov.
Hi, I'm Esma.
And you're off the telly. And now you're in real life.
Yes, we jumped from the telly
We
into
exist.
the
We're real.
Have you been here all day?
Came up about lunchtime,
We did.
and we've been doing a bit of shopping today, and more shopping tomorrow, and more shopping on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Oh, really? Literally?
Yeah.
All three?
All 3 days.
So you've got accommodation, you're staying, you're here?
We're here. We're prepped.
We are prepped. We're being fluid. We're just going with the flow.
Nice.
Doing
Are you
whatever we
doing
feel
any?
like.
Are you doing any of the events, any of the catwalks, any of the teaching?
Yeah, we've got the bee catwalk.
Oh, when's that?
Tomorrow
afternoon?
3:30, I think.
You don't sound very excited.
Oh my no! Because I'm not. Well, the last time I did a catwalk was 25 years ago at uni, so it's going to be interesting tomorrow. But there we are.
What are you wearing? Is it a secret?
Is it a secret? No, we can say we're both wearing the same dungaree pattern, just to show how different it can be. Yeah. And then I'm wearing, for the second outfit, my National Television Awards dress that I made.
Oh, exciting!
So, we'll
and
see.
your second outfit?
Is my take on the Vampire's Wife dress.
Oh.
Yes, using the packed peony dress. So yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be fun, isn't it?
It will be fun.
So you've got
New
that
experience.
going on. Are you doing any teaching or anything like that?
No.
whilst you're here?
No, we're not doing
We're
any
doing a
teaching.
couple of just business chats with people because we've got our own classes now, so that's really exciting.
Are they up and running?
Up and running.
Tell us about that.
So our brand is Imperfectly Perfect, and we're doing sewing workshops in South Wales. And we've just launched another Anthea and Penelope class, which has just sold out, which is great.
Of course. So where is your space? Where's your teaching space?
So 2 spaces. One is in Cardiff with Lark Design Make, and the other one is Pontardawe with Sweet Williams, handmade. And I said it correctly.
You said it right.
So I said it correctly. That's in Swansea.
I will get all that information and I'll put it in the show notes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's been super lovely to meet you. Thank you so much.
Lovely to meet you too. We're famous now.
Like you were.
We've talked about it so much, haven't we?
So we are now chatting with my colleague Claire, who's been at the Fabric Godmother store all day, and it's been hectic.
It's been so busy.
Yeah. Could you give me a rough idea of, like, when people come to the store, have they already checked out the website? Do they already know what they want? Are there people coming with shopping lists, or are they just like new, like, I don't know who you are, but this is amazing?
Everything, a bit of everyone.
Right.
We've had people come with notebooks, they've got their patterns and how many meters they need. Or we've had people just go, I need everything. And what pattern?
Give it all to me.
Yeah, a bit of everybody. So it's been really lovely to be able to chat to people and help them.
Do you have any tips for people who are new to this kind of event to kind of prevent feeling overwhelmed?
Come with some pattern ideas that you can make or have made before.
Uh-huh.
And then at least you roughly know what fabric you're looking for.
Good answer.
You're welcome.
How many people have seen your amazing dress and said, I want to make that?
Loads. And I was just out getting a coffee and someone stopped me in the street.
Oh, wow.
I said, what is that? I need it. And I sent them over here.
They go, you get this fabric, this pattern.
Yeah, we sold out the pattern because it's just been wearing
Sold out. Didn't order enough.
What is the pattern?
It's a valley dress. Pattern fantastic.
I like this pattern.
Brilliant. Is this your only day here?
Yes, it's my day off, but I've come to work here. So I'm looking forward to going home to my children and have a glass of wine on the train.
Looking forward to the wine on the train.
That's an option.
Right, we need to find out in a minute. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for chatting.
Here we are on a train on our way back from the Stitch Festival. We've got a margarita in a can.
Yep, 2 of them.
We're classy.
It's been a day for it.
How's your day been?
It's been incredible. Yeah.
Yeah?
It was, I got very creaky there in my voice. It's been so incredible.
It's your verbal fry.
Yes. No, it's been an amazing day. I think there was lots of highs and a little bit of lows with the overwhelm.
Okay.
There was moments of just kind of, because it was really packed.
Yeah.
But
and
then,
hot.
Yeah, it was very hot in there. But I think there was highs and lows, and then towards the end of the day when people started kind of leaving and it started getting a little bit quieter, and that's when the real kind of we settled in, the wins happened, found a few things.
We should just go like 3 o'clock next time.
Yeah.
Like literally.
But I also think it was nice to be in that bustle of everything and just kind of take it all in and get caught up in it. But that was not the time to maybe do the purchases or anything, which we didn't.
It was almost impossible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There were so many people queuing at every stall.
But it was amazing. Like, I found and saw so many new things, inspired to try things, learned a bunch.
So you ticked a lot of your boxes.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, that would be a good way to sum it up.
What were you inspired to try? Like, what's the inspiration you've picked up? It might take a couple of days to kind of sink in a bit.
Yeah,
mightn't it?
I think so. It's definitely there. I've solidified my my pattern style to not keep going for the boxy, flowy things. I've made too many of those. They're not my style. So the more kind of retro form-fitting things, and that's just seeing the fabrics today, seeing people wear. That was one of the things that was really neat, is just seeing so many people wearing handmade clothing. And you see all the patterns. It's just a disproportionate slice of population wearing really cool fabrics, colors, shapes, styles than you would get in a you know when you go to the Tube and just see the random people there. So I think it just strengthened a lot of what I've learned already. So maybe solidified that. Let's see what else. What about you?
It was really nice to get to speak to a lot of people that I know or I've followed on Instagram, or a couple of Check Your Fed patrons or patrons popped up. That was so nice. Came to say hi.
Yeah,
that was so lovely. Hi Sarah, hi Mel.
That's good. And I think too, there's one thing that I've noticed, and I kind of expected this, but just to see it and experience it, was that sense of community, of like the sewing community is so curious and creative and interested and friendly, and just really kind of aware of just various little details, like they're following the Instagram stories, or maybe the episodes of a podcast or a TV show, or whatever, that they're like, oh yeah, that's the jumper that from that story or from that post, or whatever that is. That was fun to see. That people remember not only the things they make and the memories connected to them, but the things that other people make and where that fabric comes from.
Yeah, it was great to see some of Tony, for example, Tony, previous guest Tony Ray, some of what he was wearing was like, oh, that was your experiments from I was watching you do that on Instagram. And
and I think there was that piece on the front of his jacket, and it had that, I don't know what you call that type of pocket.
I would call it an inverse box plate.
Yeah, and that was one of the things, that was one of the features and one of the pieces that he made on the sewing bee.
Right.
Yeah, so it was just nice to see that little detail, and it was like, oh, yeah, he's got the box.
So what did you come away with?
Ooh, yeah, very exciting. There was a point where I was like, I was a bit overwhelmed. There was just too much. I'd already taken in a lot, and I was like, you know what, it's fine. I'll be happy if I don't buy anything. I don't have to carry it home. That's fine, because there was a lot of fabrics, and I could wait in the queue, and get it sorted out, but it was just a lot of people and a lot going on. And then I did break that seal with finding a good deal on the Gooderman thread. So that was nice, the case and some little bits and bobs of seam ripper. But then, and so I was like, okay, cool. I've got something new, to play with when I get home. So that's good. But then later, as things were winding down, I think 5 o'clock, you were talking to Grace, and then I saw, this fabric, this olive green denim fabric, just a perfect weight. I was like, I know what I'm going to make with this. I'm going to make this cassette pants. Or trousers. I think I would call those pants because they're more like a denim. They're like a jean.
And it's an American brand, isn't it?
Yeah.
So liberated.
Yeah, for sure. And I took the last of that bolt.
Kind of meant to be.
Yeah, I think so. So that was nice to have that.
I'm so
little
glad
extra
you did
weight.
because
Me too.
there was one point when you were like, you know what, I'd be fine if I didn't get any fabric, and I was kind of like, oh no. Well, everything we just discussed about how you don't have very many good fabric options near where you live, and how you don't feel that confident buying online. It's like, oh.
But at the start of this day, I had said that I wanted to fall in love with fabric.
Right.
And that I did everywhere. And that was part of the overwhelm. I couldn't pick just one.
Sure.
So I think I did that, and I bought some.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So, would you go to another sewing event like that?
Oh, absolutely.
In the future?
Yeah, easy. But knowing what I know now.
Yeah, how would you approach it differently?
Well, I would take a lot of the advice of the people that
the advice that we heard, like which bits rung true, which bits will you try to implement next time?
I think going to the website and looking at the different makers and the different stalls, the vendors, and who's going to be there. But I think that also probably by the next event, I'll know who those are much more and what I like and what I'm drawn to, what I want to see more of. At this point, I'm going into that pretty new, so all of these things are new to me. I think looking at a website maybe wouldn't give me a whole lot. But that's a really useful tool going in just to maybe get curious about things and then see them in the flesh. So that would be good. But the other one was, I forget the woman's name, but she suggested taking pictures of things as
Sharon
you go.
from Maven Patterns.
Yes, yeah. So taking pictures of things, that was a really good idea because then you can just go off later, process it, think about it, make decisions, and you've seen the fabrics, you've felt them, maybe, but you don't necessarily have to buy them there. And yes, that's risky. It might be gone, but that was something that was very neat about Fabric Godmother because that's usually online, but then to be able to see so many of them and feel them and see what they really look like and hang like. And then to see all, and this is true with all of the vendors, to see samples of the clothes made.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and a lot of them were patterns that I'd considered or patterns that I've seen. So to actually see them and then to have that moment of recognition of like, oh, I know that pattern, or that's one saved in my folder or whatever. That I might like to buy that one. So to see an example of that either on the racks or on people walking by.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool.
Nice. So you bought thread, you bought a seam ripper, and you bought some olive green denim.
Yes.
And I bought, I was given a sewing pattern, the Zoe sewing pattern by Emporia Patterns. And also I got some labels.
Yes.
Some garments, some really cute,
very cute,
unusual ones. Yeah, that I haven't seen before. Right, there we go. Well, thank you for coming.
And can I ask you a question?
Please.
Yeah. What did you come away with besides the non-tangibles?
Do you know what? It just makes me want to go to those things more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a joyful environment. People are there, they're happy, they're there because they want to be.
Yeah.
Some people are the best people, ultimately.
They are.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming with me.
Thank you. It was amazing.
So it's Monday, so a few days after the Stitch Festival, after going up there with Kim. Still got just lovely vibes from it. All the nice people that I spoke to. Kind of a shame that I only got recordings with just like a fraction really of all the lovely people that I spoke to. And I was just kind of thinking about what my takeaways were. When Kim asked me what my takeaways were when we were coming home on the train, and I said that, my main takeaway was just like, I kind of want to go to those things more because they're so nice and they just feel like such a celebration of a nice community. But in advance of the event, I was kind of feeling quite torn. Like, obviously, these are a big selling event. Their whole thing is about commerce. It's about, trying to get you to buy stuff. So I was kind of hoping that we could figure out a way to enjoy them, but also be more sustainable. And I think that we've figured it out. I think that we did come to a good conclusion. I think that it is possible to just really enjoy all the good things about sewing and about community and about coming together over something that you love, something that inspires you and makes you feel creative and all those lovely things, but to do it in a way that is more sustainable. And that is not necessarily not buying anything, I do think that you can come away with something, and that is okay, and that is still part of a more sustainable sewing life. And I think maybe even coming away with something that you like from an event that you've had such a good time at, that could lead to more sustainable sewing, because as Kim was saying, you've got those memories and those kind of additional layers of story and meaning attached to the thing that you bought. So I guess in summary, I loved all the advice that we were given. So yeah, do a little bit of research in advance. That can actually help you kind of enjoy the event even more, I think, because you've got a bit more anticipation and you're going in a bit more with your eyes a bit more open. Another aspect that we didn't talk about really is that at these sewing events, the ones in London anyway, there's actually an opportunity to take quite a lot of classes as well. So that could be a good way to interact with these events, get to talk to people, expand your sewing knowledge and enjoyment of sewing, but come away with skills rather than stuff, So that's another aspect that maybe I'll look into in another event. But yeah, it is possible to have a wonderful time and not blow the budget, and equally not come away with nothing because you've got too overwhelmed. So yeah, there we go. There's my conclusions, and I just can't wait for the next one, to be honest.
Hi Zoe, it's Kim here. I've returned home from London Stitch Fest, and I wanted to leave a message to share some extra thoughts I had. I know we talked going into the event and talked about some of the goals that I had, and you asked many people questions that can help people like me who are new to the sewing community, what they can do to not get too overwhelmed, to not overdo it. And you talked to loads of people who had amazing advice. And so I thank you and all of them for all of that, because that really helped make the event amazing and fun. And I'm reflecting on what an incredible time it was. I picked up a few things. I fell in love with some fabric, even though I didn't buy it, which was one of my goals. I also learned several things, some new tricks, some new tips, got inspired. I think I hit everything on my list that I wanted to achieve from the event. And I was thinking about my approach going into it and how I was comparing Stitch Festival to maybe conferences that I'd been to before. So design conferences, tech events, that sort of thing. And I wondered maybe if it was the wrong approach, because as I was talking to my partner about this and reflecting on the weekend, that it's actually more like other types of conventions that I'd been to. So board game groups or book clubs or that sort of thing. And that really changes things for me. So looking back on it all, thinking about all the wonderful advice people gave, taking photos, having a plan, all of that. And the advice I would give myself is to let it be fun. And then, of course, the question that arises from that is, what do I need to do to allow it to be fun, to remove any obstacles or to keep the energy up? And that's going to be different for everyone. And so for me, I think we planned it right. We took some breaks. We had a little plan for the 3 floors, all of that. And because of that, it was very fun, very rewarding, enriching, learned lots of stuff. My eyes were dazzled by everything. So thank you again for this event. And, this thank you goes to everyone. Just really an amazing community filled with creative, wonderful people, and I look forward to attending the next one.
thanks so much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed this episode and are left feeling inspired. For more info about the podcast, including show notes for this and every episode, head to checkyourthread.com. I'd love to hear from you, so if you have any comments, questions or ideas for future episodes, please get in touch by emailing zoe@checkyourthread.com or find me on Instagram @checkyourthread. Massive thanks to Patrick Potter for production support, to Sylvia Seller for the awesome logo design, and to Simon at Palm Skin Productions for the music. This ad-free podcast would not be possible without listener support, so if you feel you are able, please consider signing up to the Check Your Thread Patreon. For the equivalent of buying me a coffee each month, you'll be making it possible to continue producing regular episodes. Links can be found in the show notes and on the website checkyourthread.com. I hope you'll listen again next week. Until then, take care. Bye!